Welcome back to Talk of the Town. My next guest is Sarah Haus, who is the owner of Haus Brewing Company in Verona. Sarah, welcome to our program.
Thank you very much.
Now, you're not even open yet, as I understand.
Actually, last Wednesday was our first day, the 24th.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
awesome.
you. Yeah.
And you're in a great location right there on Main Street. Tell us what brought you to Verona?
I was raised in Verona, so I'm very familiar with the community and everything. And I just think Verona's a really supportive community. We're right near Miller's grocery store, and you go down there to do your grocery shopping, and half the city's there because they're supporting Miller's because it's local.
Right.
And also, I think that there's a lot going on in Verona that people don't always realize. Like, there's the soccer fields are really close, the Redden Soccer Park. There's the baseball fields. They both have adult leagues and tournaments, things like that. The hockey rink. And then there's bigger events, throughout the city that, like Ironman. The Ironman bike loop comes through Verona. And
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
So it's things like that that are going on in Verona that I don't always think that people really realize.
Right.
But ultimately, I would say that it was just because, it's a supportive community. We knew that going into it. And even in our first few days open, there are so many people that have been in saying, oh yeah, we live right behind you or just down the road or something. Sure. So it's really been kind of a local representation so far, which has been great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, you guys currently have 4 beers on tap.
Yes.
Do you have any plans to expand that offering?
Yeah, so we have 12 tap lines, and eventually we want to have, I would say, 10 or 11 be our own beers, and then we'll keep 1 or 2 guest taps on.
So these are all the ones that you brew yourselves?
Right.
Wow. Okay.
Right, yeah. And so initially we want to do a lot of rotating those, just to kind of get a feel for what people really like and, what people really want to see on tap. We will have a focus on IPAs and Belgian beers,
okay,
but we'll have certainly other styles as well. And then once we kind of get done rotating all those and we kind of see where people's preferences lie, we want to have probably 4 that stay on tap, usually, and then kind of rotate the other 6 or 7 taps.
Sure.
Yeah.
It seems like in the last 10, 15 years or so, we've seen almost an explosion of different microbreweries popping up. Do you believe that there's ever a saturation point where there are too many microbreweries?
I really don't. The great thing about beer and craft beer is that you can just take a tiny little difference when you're brewing the beer and have a huge difference in the taste at the end.
Wow.
And so with that ability, I think that, there's kind of an endless amount that you can do with the beers. Plus, it's also a lot based on people's taste preferences. If I say, oh, I like an IPA, and you say, I like an IPA too, that doesn't mean that we're going to like the same IPA. It's
Sure.
such, so much variety in there that I really think that, kind of the sky's the limit with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk a little bit about your food. You've got some food that you offer, but it's
Correct.
pretty minimal.
Yes.
What's your reasoning for that?
We really wanted to be able to focus on the beers, and we wanted to bring in some local offerings, like we've got Fraboni's Pizzas and we've got Kurt's Gourmet Popcorn, but then we've also got a food truck coming in most Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. So we've got like a rotating schedule with that, different things for people to try, and then also people can bring in food, from around Verona. And another thing with the community, we really wanted people to try the things that are in Verona because there are quite a few good restaurants out in Verona that people might not know about. So you can pick that up on your way in, or, if you're there and you decide, oh, I'm kind of hungry, I want to try something. We're going to have a binder that's got the different
Sure.
options around, and you can get food from one of those and bring it in. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, we talked very briefly before the interview about the Baby Growler. I'm so curious to know what this is. Talk to us about what the Baby Growler is.
So the Baby Growler is a term that we love. We've got 2 sizes of growler. So there's the standard one that everyone's used to seeing, which is 64 ounces, which is roughly like 4, average size pours for a beer. So, if you're by yourself or with one other person, it's kind of a big commitment because once you open the growler, you're kind of committed to drinking the whole
Sure.
thing at that time. But if you get the Baby Growler, which is only 32 ounces, then it's like about 2 beers, maybe 2.5, depending on how you pour it. So it's a lot more manageable, I think, if it's just like a couple people or maybe even one person, looking to just have some good beer at home.
That sounds awesome. So you've been open since this past Wednesday.
Yes.
Things are going pretty well.
Yeah, it
Good.
is.
Excellent. Well, I wish you the best of luck, Sarah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Sarah Haus is the owner of Haus Brewing Company, opened recently on Main Street in Verona. Don't go away. When we come back, we are going to pump it up with August from Pump It Up Party. It's right here on Talk of the Town.